Hello, welcome to a new video series. I'm Gamasutra, I'm Mike Rose. Today I'm going to be talking to Rami Ismail from Vlambeer, who is just below me there. Hi,
Sure.
how are you doing?
Good.
So we're talking today about Nuclear Throne, which is your latest game, which
Yep.
released on Steam Early Access last week, I believe.
Yeah, just last Friday. It's been
Yeah, so the
really.
plan here is that I'm going to essentially play the game, and Rami's going to talk to me while I'm playing the game. Sounds kind of simple, but it's not been simple whatsoever. But here we go anyway. So yeah, we were just talking just before we started recording about the character selection screen, and you were sort of mentioning where some of the characters have come from, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, do you want to the plant, for example?
Yeah. So the scene you're looking at right now is sort of the central hub to this game. It's the campfire, and this is where the mutants sort of gather before they go into the wasteland.
Hmm.
And when the game starts out, it's just going to be two characters. It's going to be the fish and Crystal. And as you progress through the game, you unlock the other characters. But this is an early access build, so all the characters are unlocked here.
Okay.
And each of these mutants have a special power,
Hmm.
both an active power and a passive power. And the way that works, we'll get to that later in the game, I guess.
Okay.
But each of those characters have a passive ability that's just sort of modifies the game, and then an active ability that you use with the right mouse button.
Right. Okay. So I'll just choose. I'll choose. Quite like the look of this guy. Is this guy difficult? Am I going to be able to do this guy? Played a little bit.
Steroids is actually pretty accessible. Instead
Okay.
of having special power, it can dual.
Okay. All right. Let's do this then. Okay. So levels are randomly generated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a roguelike like. So while it uses a lot of elements from roguelikes, like random level generation and
Yeah.
permadeath and little persistency, it's not a full roguelike for a variety of reasons.
Okay. And I mean, from what I could tell, it's very much about sort of keep, not just blasting like crazy and sort of using bullets sparingly, essentially.
Yeah, ammo is definitely one of the biggest constraints in this game. Making sure that you have enough ammo for those tight spots is really important. And if you find yourself without ammo, that's basically it. There's no way
Yeah,
to.
so that's a little bit different, really, to like a lot of games. Like, normally, there'll sort of be like a base weapon that you sort of never run out of ammo with. It's a bit rubbish, but you've always got that like one thing where you sort of not tempted to go along with that.
No, this game is really about playing in a really conscious way.
Hmm.
And we kind of felt that having the ammo system at the core of it was really important. We want that economy. We want those tense moments where it's just the last few bullets that you have. And since the only way to progress through the game is to kill all enemies on each level,
Yeah.
that opens the portal to the next level. Since the only way to do that is by killing everything in a level, basically running out of ammo just means running out of any ability to progress.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the core tension that we really wanted to have in this game.
I think I've met this super angry guy and he's not very happy.
That is
Um,
big bad.
yeah, okay. Well, he's just killed me already, so that's embarrassing.
That's actually not quite that embarrassing. So the reason Big Bandit is there is the game is split up into four worlds.
Mhm.
Then between those four worlds, there are sort of transition levels that are way larger, but there's only one level. So the world is three levels, and then every transition level is one large level. And at the end of each of those worlds, there is a final boss,
Hmm.
and also access. So dying in World 1-3 to the final boss of the first world is pretty reasonable for a
Okay.
first go.
So I'm not doing terribly. Nothing
No,
amazing
no.
either.
Well,
So,
you won't win prizes. But
with regards to the people working on the game, so you've got some like regulars on it, yeah, working on sort of the art and the sound effects, I believe.
yeah,
I mean, when it comes to, you know, people helping you out, have you ever sort of thought to yourself, maybe we should think about sort of expanding on, you know, the two of you at Vlambeer and maybe adding new people, or do you sort of like, you know, sort of working with freelancers?
Yeah, so this is sort of a two-part question, I guess. As for the team that we have on Nuclear Throne is an amazing team of people that we've worked with before, but also people that we've never worked with.
Yeah.
We have our quite common partners in crime with Paul Veer on the pixel art
Yeah.
and Yukio Kallio on the music, and they both work with us in a variety of projects. Yukio is also doing the soundtrack. The wonderful soundtrack, I might add, for Look Houses. New this time are Jonas Sterner, who's on SFX, and Justin Chan, who is an illustrator. And it's actually funny because we got to know Justin when he sent in a piece of fan art for the original prototype that we made for Mojam 6 months ago, and that's how he got pulled aboard in the team. So stories like that do happen, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
As for expanding Vlambeer, that's a question we get quite often. Why don't you grow in company size? And the answer is really simple. That's a lot of responsibility that that is just not something that we want to be dealing with at the moment. And the other thing is, Vlambeer works really well in its current form, where me and JW basically we have no alternative to arguing.
Yeah.
We can't team up on each other with a third person, so we have to argue about things. I think that is sort of at the core of what a Vlambeer game is that disagreement leading to us having to end up agreeing on stuff.
Yeah.
So adding somebody to the team would probably just upset that balance. So besides the fact that it's a lot of responsibility and it increases the cost that we have to pay per month just to keep the studio afloat. We're also potentially damaging just the way Vlambeer operates. That's not.
I mean, how do you guys even, so like you just bought this game out, but then we also know you've been, you know, working on Look Houses for is it just PSN, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously you have other stuff you've been working on as well, like, you know, earlier in the year with all the ridiculous fish and stuff. I mean, how do you do it? How are you working on so many games at any one time? It doesn't seem to make much sense.
So there's sort of a really simple answer to this, but it's sort of I guess some people think it's a disappointing answer, but
Okay.
Truth be told, the way we do it is just we get really bored if we work on one thing. We just can't do it. So we use another project to keep us excited about things. Loot Browser, for example, we've been working on that for almost a year now, which is extremely long for any Vlambeer game.
Yeah.
And if we had only worked on Loot Browsers, I mean, we have the PC and Mac and Linux built right now, but we're waiting for certification on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. And if we hadn't had something to distract us with, that would have ruined.
Oh, sorry. I think we've lost you for a second. Hopefully you're going to come back.
I hope I can come back as well.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Wow. No, I said I have the utmost respect for anybody that can work on a game for months.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at somebody like Contact, Joachim Sandberg, who's been working on the Iconoclast for so long with so much passion that I cannot see us doing something like that. It's a really impressive feat.
I just found this gun, which was the bane of my life in Super Crate Box.
The They're just gonna steal the bane of your life in
Oh
this
crap.
game.
Okay. I'm fairly certain I'm gonna die now. It's okay. I'm surviving for now. Oh dear.
It's really easy to get yourself in a sticky situation.
Yep. That is what I found. I've actually only managed to beat this sort of first world once when playing this. So
That's exactly the way it should work.
yeah.
At some
Well,
point,
yeah, I guess there's a lot of games recently been doing that. Like Spelunky's the one where I was stuck on the mines for so long, and then now it's oh well. Yeah.
that was a shame. That was a shame. Yeah, Spelunky is funny because Spelunky is sort of similar in a lot of ways to Nuclear Throne. It's a roguelike that is not a traditional roguelike in that it's a top-down turn-based game. So I prefer to call them roguelike-likes. Because they are a lot like roguelikes, and they borrow a lot of elements from roguelikes, but they're not roguelikes. And I think Spelunky is actually the prime example of something like that, or something like The Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, exactly. Binding of Isaac is definitely the one I've been thinking about when I've been playing this.
A lot of people say that, and we think that is a big compliment because The Binding of Isaac is a pretty wonderful game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A lot of people Spelunky or Binding of Isaac, and those are if we can fit Nuclear Throne in that list, that will be quite something.
Yeah. Yeah. So something I wanted to ask you about was the whole name change, because obviously we're so used to situations now where some usually an indie is working on a smaller game, and then a bigger company says, hey, it's kind of encroaching. Oh god, that's not clever. It's kind of encroaching on our name, and then nastiness ensues. Whereas with this, so it was In Exile who basically approached you guys on a personal level and said, hey, sounds a bit like Wasteland King, sounds a bit like our Wasteland IP. And it seems to all have been worked out rather nicely, which is very different to normal. I mean, how exactly did that happen?
Yeah, that was really interesting. So we before the name change, Nuclear Throne was called Wasteland Kings, and the people at In Exile have obviously been working on their Kickstarter for Wasteland 2. It's a trademark that they've held since 1988 for the original Wasteland, which is the year I was born, coincidentally. So they've had that trademark for as long as around.
That's a bit of perspective.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about. But after we announced that Wasteland Kings, as it was called back then, would release on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, that was announced back at Gamescom with quite a bit of spectacle to it. Apparently, the people at In Exile noticed that, and they got worried about their trademark because Wasteland Kings could easily be misconstrued as part of the Wasteland franchise.
Yep.
So instead of doing the usual, which is grab a bunch of lawyers and send us an angry cease and desist and threaten us with murdering kittens or something, they sent us a really polite, friendly, personal email explaining that they were a bit concerned about that and then whether there was a way we could talk about all of that. And I mean, I still think legally that they would not have had a case, but it's just, this is exactly the way I think business should be done in this industry, not with lawyers and big threats, but just as human beings talking to each other. I mean, we're all working in this medium because we all have a passion for it. So instead of trying to shut each other down, we might as well just talk to each other, right? So after we got their request to talk, we just said, you know what, we're just changing the name, and we searched for a name for quite a while.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to run into those guys, by the way. That's a really bad idea.
Nah. I didn't think it would be a good idea. No. I've just realised I've not actually been using like my secondary move ever.
No,
So,
the
that's
dodge
my
roll
worry.
is an interesting move too. A lot of people expect it to roll in the direction you're running,
Yeah.
but
Oh jeez. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I think I've lost you again for a second. It's okay, don't worry. I'll keep playing. And
if you
probably
want
I'll
to
be.
roll
Oh, there you go.
from,
You're back.
you'll have to aim away from the enemy. For
Right. Yeah, I see. So wherever the mouse pointer is pointing is
hitting
where
the
it rolls, basically.
roll button, which is actually a pretty pro maneuver. That's not an easy thing. Yeah, it's sort of a risk reward thing.
Yeah.
It's easy to roll. It's hard to roll in the right direction.
Hmm. Let's try one more character. So we'll try Eyes, who can apparently see in the dark.
So the passive of eyes is that it can see in the dark, but the way more interesting effect is its active effect. While you hold the mouse button, you use its skill
Sorry, I think I'm losing a lot.
and
of
what
you're saying
telekinesis
now.
does, it pulls enemies towards you while pushing bullets away from you. So it's a really
Oh,
subtle
okay.
effect at base level before you get the.
Yeah, I get it. That's pretty cool.
So it attracts enemies and pushes them.
Yeah. So what can we expect then from? So this is sort of the early alpha. When do you plan to have sort of finished the game in your Vlambeer roadmap? And I mean, what sort of like big differences are there going to be in the last build?
So we don't know. We don't really have a roadmap for this game because we've been live streaming development. I actually just finished streaming.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I've lost you again for a second.
I said we've been live streaming development, so we don't quite know when it's going to be done.
Okay.
We're just going to keep working on it until both us and the fans agree that it's done. And that's actually been really fun. It's we think there's 2 or 3 months of work left in this, but
yeah.
In general, we're just gonna keep working to extend, and there's a lot that we want to add. There's more enemies, more bosses, more characters, more worlds. We want to have 8 worlds, and we want each of those worlds to have the secret counter world. We want secret crown vaults that you can raid for crowns that modify the game, special weapons, an ending. So there's a lot that we want to add. Every character is going to have unique voice acting and stuff like that. It's just we really think of this as sort of the end result. Ouch. The end result of 3 years of Vlambeer. This is everything we've worked towards, and a lot of lessons from the different games that we've made sort of come back in Nuclear Throne in one way or another. So the randomness of Super Crate Box and the customization of Love Trousers and the way we tell stories in Ridiculous Fishing, those things all click together into Nuclear Throne, and that's also why there are a lot of references to our other games in there, because it sort of pulls together the universe of all the games we've made so far. So this is sort of the overarching thing. This is it, and it feels really nice to be making that game.
Yeah.
It's been super exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, I think we'll probably leave it there. So yes, that's Nuclear Throne. It is available to grab on Steam, and yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot more from it in the future. Right, well, thanks for talking to me, and you should get back now to
Thank you.
doing all of the busy stuff that you do, which I'm very much aware of. Alright, see you later.